The flashing cameras. The heated whispers. Overwhelming tension that filled the press hall that evening could have been mistaken for the premiere of a blockbuster K-drama. But this was no fictional script. This was reality, raw, heart-stirring, and breathtaking in its intensity. On a special entertainment broadcast by KBS Entertainment News, two of Korea's most beloved stars, Lee Jun-ho of 2PM and the forever radiant Yoona of Girls' Generation, stepped forward to break a silence that fans had long agonized over. After months of speculation, batches of late-night outings, endless edits of their romantic on-screen chemistry, and tabloid frenzy about whether their love story extended beyond the cameras, they finally revealed the truth. The words were simple, but their effect rippled like a typhoon across the entertainment world. Yes, we were in love. And yes, we have parted ways. For a moment, the entire hall froze. It was the confirmation fans had half expected but never wanted to hear. After all, Jun-ho and Yoona were not just any pair of idols turned actors, they were the faces of an entire generation's romantic imagination. Their sizzling chemistry in JTBC's King the Land was the stuff of fairy tales. Their playful camaraderie in SBS's Running Man episodes made fans gush that surely no one could laugh that freely unless it was real. And the carefully caught candid photos by Dispatch, showing them walking quietly under the glow of Seoul's streetlights, gave millions of K-drama lovers hope that their drama had leapt into reality. Now, in one breathtaking moment, it all collapsed. Yet, every great twist in the dramas they had headlined, the revelation did not end in despair. It carried with it an emotional undercurrent so profound that fans could not decide whether to cry in heartbreak or marvel at the sweetness hidden in Jun-ho's words. For even as he admitted this separation, Jun-ho delivered a line destined to echo in the annals of KB's history: even if she is no longer beside me, in my heart, Yoona will always be mine. Those words, uttered with quiet strength, transformed the breakup from a tragedy into a bittersweet romance that still burned with warmth. This was not a story of loss, but of possession through memory. Of keeping someone not by holding their hand but by keeping them enshrined in the soul. For Jun-ho, this was not the end of love. This was a milestone, a mark. Gentle but powerful way of saying, she is his. Always be his. Even if she walks her own path. The revelation did not come out of nowhere. For months, speculation had been mounting since their collaboration on King the Land, that drama, which aired on JTBC in 2023, was hailed as one of the most romantic of its era. Their characters, a Jebel heir and a hotelier with a smile as bright as the sun, destined for love against all odds. The behind-the-scenes footage released by JTBC's YouTube channel only poured fuel onto the fire. Clips of Jun-ho brushing stray hairs away from Yoona's face, laughter ringing freely at his whispered jokes between takes, went viral across TikTok and Instagram. Fans around the world began stitching edits, adding heart-fluttering music to their every glance, declaring them the couple of the century. When they appeared on SBS's Running Man together for promotion, the speculation reached fever pitch. Their playful competitiveness, the way Yoona teased Jun-ho when he failed a mission, the protective hand he extended when she stumbled, all these moments convinced fans that this was no mere publicity act. The hashtags Jun-Yoona couple and King the Land chemistry trended globally for weeks. The Dispatch paparazzi, all was relentless, claimed they had evidence of midnight dinners, of car rides through Gangnam, of quiet strolls by the Han River, though neither side confirmed nor denied the rumors. Their silence became its own kind of confirmation. So when Jun-ho and Yoona finally stood side by side on that KBS program, the audience braced for an official engagement announcement. Tension was palpable. Every fan ready to celebrate the wedding of their dreams. Instead, the shocking truth hit like a storm. They were not stepping forward to confirm an ongoing romance, they were here to reveal its end. Yoona's voice, calm but tender. Across the stage, Jun-ho has been one of the most important parts of my life. He was my strength, laughter, and my comfort. Even if we are no longer together, he remains a memory I will always cherish. Her words struck with a gentle ache of poetry. A farewell laced not with bitterness but with love. And came Jun-ho's revelation. While she spoke of cherished memories, he claimed her still, not as possession in the physical sense, but as an eternal presence in his life. She is a chapter that defines me. Whether together or apart, she is mine in my heart. Will never change. It was a line straight out of a drama. It was raw and real. Enough to move the toughest skeptics to tears. The reaction was immediate and explosive. Within minutes, every major outlet, SBS Midnight News, NBC Section TV, JTBC Entertainment Live, broke the story. Hashtags like Jun-Yoona forever, sweetest goodbye, and she will always be has trended not just in Korea but across the globe. International fans translated the quotes into dozens of languages, flooding Twitter, Weibo, Instagram with messages of heartbreak and admiration. Some fans declared it the most romantic breakup in KB's history. Others wept openly, recording reaction videos as if watching the final episode of a beloved drama. Commentators quickly weighed in. On JTBC's panel show Entertainment Weekly, critics debated whether Jun-ho's words were possessive or poetic. One argued, he's clinging onto her image, unable to let go. Another countered, no. His love in its purest, most selfless form. He's not stopping her from moving on, he's simply saying she will forever hold his heart. The debate raged. But what everyone agreed on was this: never before had a breakup been framed so sweetly, so devastatingly, so beautifully. The story did not end with that broadcast. Days later, Jun-ho performed at his 2 p.m. Forever Love Tour concert. And the atmosphere carried with it the tension of the recent revelation. Toward the end of the night, as the stage lights dimmed and only a single spotlight remained, Jun-ho picked up the microphone and began to sing a ballad never before performed live. The lyrics spoke of love that lingers, a smile that never fades, of a heart that belongs to one person forever. Fans gasped as they realized the song was dedicated to Yoona. On the big screens, tears shone in his eyes, breaking slightly at the chorus. And then, in one of those cinematic moments that K-drama fans live for, Yoona was spotted in the audience. Had come quietly, dressed simply, sitting away from the VIP rows, almost hidden in the crowd. Cameras picked her up only briefly, but the image of her listening with a faint smile spread like wildfire online. To the fans, this was no longer just a breakup, it was a story of love immortalized in song, of a farewell that still tied their hearts together. Reporters asked her later on NBC Section TV about the moment. Yoona did not deny it. She smiled, her eyes soft, and said only, "Memories remain, and I treasure them." That single sentence sent fans into another frenzy. Was watching closely. Another detail could not be missed: on her wrist gleamed a bracelet, the very one Jun-ho had once gifted her during a commercial shoot. The accessory, small and delicate, became the talk of the town. Was this her way of silently answering his declaration? Media named this phenomenon the forever mark. The idea that though they broke up, Jun-ho's words and actions had left an eternal imprint. A symbolic claim that Yoona would always be his in spirit. Cultural critics drew parallels to traditional Korean notions of love, where sometimes letting go is the deepest expression of devotion. Newspapers published columns asking, is Jun-ho redefining love by proving that holding on can mean cherishing, not controlling? International outlets joined in. American tabloids labeled it the sweetest breakup ever seen in celebrity history. Japanese media praised it as a pure and selfless vow, while Chinese fans flooded Weibo with millions of posts under the hashtag Eternal Jun-Yoona. The couple's story was no longer just about two stars, it had transformed into a cultural moment, a mirror reflecting what love could mean in the modern age. Though they stood apart, their legacy as a couple remained untouchable. Fans compared them to other iconic duos, Hyunbin and Son Ye-jin, Rain and Kim Tae-hee, but with a bittersweet twist. Others ended in marriage. Jun-ho and Yoona ended in something less tangible but perhaps even more enduring, the eternal possession of memory. Their love became a drama in itself, with twists, tears, and a final act that left audiences sobbing yet strangely satisfied. Entertainment critics summed it up best on JTBC's Late Night Talk segment: "This is not just a breakup. Love confession disguised as farewell." Jun-ho has given her up, but in doing so, he has claimed her forever in the only way that matters, through the heart. As the weeks passed, fans slowly adjusted to the reality that Jun-ho and Yoona were no longer together. But the story refused to die. Images from King the Land continued to circulate. Their moments on Running Man replayed endlessly on YouTube. Their quotes from the revelation reposted thousands of times. Someone whispered, "She will always be his." Legend grew stronger. And so, their romance has become more than just gossip, more than just tabloid fodder. It is now a love story that transcends endings. It demonstrates the paradox of love. Sometimes, even in goodbye, you can hold on forever. They entered our hearts as actors, but they left as legends of love. Even broken, bond remains unshakable. Jun-ho's way of keeping Yoona is not by chaining her, not by holding her back, but by declaring her eternal presence in his heart. The sweetest, most dramatic, most unforgettable way of keeping someone, by loving them beyond the boundaries of togetherness. And so, the world asks, is this really the end? Or is destiny still writing their next chapter?